Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos. If you would like to help us usher in Shabbat in song, please turn to page 24. Shalom Aleichem. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem Lishalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruchuni lishalom malachei shalom malachei elyon Mimelech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzedchem lishalom malachei shalom malachei elyon Mimelech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So nice to see everybody here this evening, and welcome to those who are live streaming. We're so glad to have you with us. We're going to begin our service this evening on page 6. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Let us continue together. Now we in our turn come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. It's my pleasure now to welcome forward Cheryl Husson and Gary Husson, who are going to light our Shabbat candles for us. The prayer is on page 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who have kindled light.
It worked before.
How about matches?
Yeah, I like this better.
Cheryl, push it down and pull the trigger.
Aha.
We need a rehearsal. You do the work, Gary.
I don't have a string. we try.
Here.
It's your fault.
This. There's something wrong with this. There we go. There we go.
Yay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign in the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Amen.
Thanks so much. We continue now in our prayer books on page 20 for the Lecha Dodi. When we approach the last stanza, we will ask you to rise and face the door and welcome the Shabbat Queen.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat, nikabela. P'nei Shabbat, nikabela, shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad, yishmianu, el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo l'Shem u'l'Tiferet u'l'Tila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat, nikabela. P'nei Shabbat, nikabela, likrat Shabbat. Lechu v'nelecha, ki mikor habracha, merosh mikedem, nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machsheva tchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat, nikabela. P'nei Shabbat, nikabela. Boi v'chalom, ateret balach, gam b'simcha u'v'tzoch olach, toch emuneh am segula, boi chala. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat, nikabela. P'nei Shabbat, nikabela.
We remain standing now for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach, Baruch
together. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. On page 32, before we read that paragraph together, I just want to make a quick comment about a word in the 5th line, meditate. In Hebrew, it's a word that means whisper silently, not just think, but actually articulate. We will meditate on your laws and your commandments when we lie down and when we rise up. What could that possibly mean? When we lie down and when we rise up means all the time. Is that what the paragraph is asking us to do? To have those words on our lips all the time? That seems unrealistic. One could make a distinction between an overt awareness and a covert awareness. An overt awareness means it's always at the front of my awareness. I'm thinking about it presently. A covert awareness means that it forms the framework of the life that I live without having to be actually on my mind overtly. My children are always on my mind, but I don't think about them every moment. But my love and care for them fashions the way I live my life. And I think that that's what this idea of meditate means. Make this part of the framework of the way you live, even if it's not overtly at the forefront of your consciousness at all times. Let's read this paragraph together. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malachuto Leolam
Let's read together on page 34. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. You may be seated. We continue now on page 36 as we chant the V'ahavta together.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Let's read together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem Emet. Turning to page 41, I must confess that I like this paragraph very much, but unfortunately it does not describe in a full extent the nature of our current reality. Let's look at the fifth line from the bottom. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. The now, of course, is not true. So let's think of this as a prayer, what we might call in the future present tense. For the future, we hope that now will at that present apply. Let's read this together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, of God's miracles, and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to live no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Adonai ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש.
We turn now to page 46, and as you are able, I invite you to rise for the Amida.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Norah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imachot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Banehem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחייך כל אתה, רב לחושייה, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחייך כל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים באמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, בנאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Let's turn to page 53 and read together at the top. Days vanish and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. We continue now on page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lecha Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amecha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We have several moments now for silent prayer.
Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to rise. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to rise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise.
Our Torah portion for this Shabbat is known by its first significant word, B'ha'alotcha, complex word which contains several elements. When you light the lamps, and this is a instruction to Aaron, the priests and the Levites, about how to light the menorah and by extension how to deal with the elements of the tabernacle in the wilderness. The portion contains chapters 8 through 11 of the fourth book of the 5 books of Moses, the book of Numbers. In chapters 8 and 9, as I've already begun to indicate, We are dealing with the preparations for the departure from Mount Sinai, where they have been all this time, preparations for the departure from Mount Sinai, and for the journey that lies ahead. And though they don't know it at this point, the journey is going to be a very long one. It's 100 miles from Mount Sinai to the border, the southern border of the land of Israel. So the trip could have really taken place within several days, a week, 2 weeks at most. Turns out to be a trip of 40 years for reasons that are explained to us a couple of portions ahead. After the presentation by Moses of the various aspects of the preparation, he calls his father-in-law, Jethro, who is known as Chovav in this particular portion. He calls together Jethro, his Midianite father-in-law, to invite him on the journey with the Israelites. And here is what Moses says to Jethro. We are setting out for the place of which the Lord has said, I will give it to you. Join us. Now, Robert Alter, who has written what is considered to be the greatest full commentary on the entire Bible since the time of Rashi. Rashi died in 1104. The greatest full commentary on the Tanakh, the entire Bible, for the past 1,000 years. And here is Robert Alter's comment on this passage. I'm going to read it again. We are setting out for the place of which the Lord has said, I will give it to you. And Alter says the following. In this passage, no foreshadowing is allowed to intrude. By which Alter means that Moses does not tell us by way of foreshadowing, nor does he tell Jethro any of the difficulties that lie ahead, any of the difficulties which he must, from his own past experience, understand are going to happen. No foreshadowing. And then Moses adds another thought. For the Lord has promised a good thing for Israel, which Alter translates, promised all manner of good things, as a way of reflecting the fact that the word good is used in that sentence twice. Now I ask you the following question. If Moses knows about the challenges, the difficulties, the impediments, the obstacles that lie ahead, and he has faced so many of them already, why does he ignore them here and insist that the future is bright? Because it seems to me Moses well understands the importance of attitude in facing the unknown future. And this invitation, blocking out any intimation of problems, is intended, it seems to me, as a way of establishing an attitude toward the future. And Moses knows something else, that once the preparations are complete, the allocation of responsibility distributed, the financial matters, the various aspects of communal life, what remains is how to face the future. And here are the choices. With skepticism, I don't know about the future, but I'm worried. I'm really worried. So many things can go wrong. The second choice is with pessimism. I do know about the future, and the prospects are bad. I anticipate so many impediments, so many obstacles, so many dangers, so much frustration. I just know that things are going to turn dark. And Moses asks the question, Is this how the future should be faced? With either skepticism or with pessimism? Of course, the author and Moses know there will be problems aplenty. There will be obstacles every step along the way. And at this point, Moses could have chosen realism. And he could have said to Jethro, "Come with us. Though I have to warn you, we're going to face a lot of problems. Be warned." And if Moses were to have said this, he would not be wrong. Perhaps it would have been even more honest for him to have foreshadowed the future and let Jethro in on what he is about to face. So why didn't Moses tell Jethro these things? After all, as I've just said, it isn't wrong to suppress the obvious, that journeys into the unknown are likely to face major problems and major challenges. Why not just tell Jethro and acknowledge openly to himself what surely lies ahead? And here's the reason, it seems to me. For to have a successful journey into the unknown, one fundamental thing is required: optimism. And this, of course, is the third option, beyond skepticism and beyond dour pessimism. Optimism, if understood correctly, does not require shutting our eyes to the challenges and the problems that lie ahead, nor to the difficulties we might not know how to handle at first. Because the skeptic and the pessimist are not irrational in their thinking. They understand. But what Moses also knows, and what he holds to be most important, what he believes what transcends the realistic concerns, is one's positive attitude. Now, I want to say something about attitude. Our attitude is not simply our state of mind at a particular moment, and not only a reaction to the moods and to the events around us. Indeed, attitude is not simply a reaction to what happens. Attitude is not a function of what happens around us. I want to suggest to you that our attitude not only reflects reality, but can create reality. Attitude really makes reality. If you will it, it is no dream. The famous words of the founder of political Zionism, Theodor Herzl. Act, so Herzl suggests, will follow what we believe. And if we believe something good can and will happen, our will, our determination can help to make that outcome more likely. Belief produces determination, will, which can affect positively the outcome. Optimism activates. It's a choice. We can choose to be optimistic. It has the power, it seems to me, to bracket, not to ignore the problems that face us, to take them seriously, but not to make them central, to be able to push ahead with vigor and with hope. This is how I understand Moses' stance in his invitation to Jethro, and why he does not bring into what he says to Jethro in his invitation. We're feeling positive about it, but boy, there are going to be a lot of problems. That's why, according to Alter, there's no foreshadowing. In a real sense, I want to suggest to you, Moses' invitation to Jethro is overdetermined, by which I mean he seems to say too much. His focus is on God's promise. He invokes the word good, tov, twice in the few words that he utters, once as a verb and once as a noun. It's as if Moses is deliberately underplaying the problems they will confront for the sake of promoting optimism, which is what he single-mindedly emphasizes. Because for Moses, at this crucial turning point, what matters most is that he and the people go forth with hope in their hearts, and as the prayer suggests, eternity in our thoughts. And what Moses knows most of all is that at the beginning of any journey, when all the many preparations have been attended to, when roles have been allocated and positions set, when the people are ready to go within days, facing the future successfully depends most of all and ultimately on the way in which we approach it from the beginning. If we are skeptical, if we are pessimistic, if we focus on what can be complained about, we shall have more impediments to face than we need to. If we are optimistic and hopeful, we shall surely be able to face the inevitable challenges and obstacles that come our way, and then meet them with vigor and with hope, as we, like Moses, responds positively to the future that lies ahead. And so we as well might emulate Moses' invitation to Jethro and think of it as our invitation as well. I'm going to repeat it. We are setting out for the place of which the Lord has said, I will give it to you. Come with us, and I will be generous to you. For the Lord has promised to be generous to the descendants of Jacob. We pause, as we always do at this moment in our service, to take into our hearts those individuals, members of our family circle of friends who are ailing at this moment, ailing of body, of mind, of spirit. I'm going to read the names that I have in front of me, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to mention either out loud or in the privacy of your own hearts those about whom you are thinking, so that we can join together in prayers for their return to full health. Adele Adler, Robert Balanso, Harriet Belkin, Mike Birch, Bonnie Chiswick, Barry Cott, Jackson Curty, Andrew Lindsay and Jeffrey Gershaw, John Goodman, Louise Grossman, Judy Horvitz, Maddie Jefferson, Richard Moore, Nechama Aviva Bat Ruchel, Nancy Polk, Gary Rand, Mel Resnick, Edith and Levi Rubenstein, Alan Schwartz, Walter Schwartz, Shana Bat Yussel, and Rachel. Let's join together in the singing of the Mishabera. You can find the words on page 253.
שבירך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn now in our prayer books to page 282, and I invite you to rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated.
Ozi v'zimaradya
We turn now to page 293 as we prepare for the recitation of the mourner's Kaddish. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We think especially on this occasion of those members of our congregational family whom we lost during this past week. Dr. Nathan Allen Berger, MD, Michael Allen Schumann, Linda Bloom. And we think as well of those who have been laid to rest during the past 30 days. Linda Grossman, Diane Kay, Patricia Hess-Plotkin, Charles Mead, Chuck Bud Tustin, Harriet Davidson, Mary Cohn, Roger Weiss. And we take into our hearts those individuals whose yahrzeits occur at this time. Virginia Ann Apt, Rose Benson, Hedwig Elizabeth Blaustein, Scott Braverman, Jean Brown, Mitchell Aaron Cohn, Della Copperman, Aaron Davidson, Marjorie Ann Davidson, Rhea R. Epstein, Louis Fischel, Beryl Forsheimer, Byron L. Frankel, Bertha Freeman, Simon Friedman, Ralph Selig-Fuhrer, Marjorie L. Garson, Dr. Aladar Galerter, Patricia Genshi, Rose Gilbert, Margaret Sis Gottlieb, Anna Goulder, Jesse H. Goulder, Julius L. Greenfield, Jacob Grossman, Lena Grossman, Rose Gurin, Joseph Hartzmark, Rosalind Gitson Held, Samuel A. Horvitz, Alan D. Kendis, Bertha Ann Kipperman, Minnie Klausner, Sarah Kleinman, Bertha Kosman, Stanley L. Kramer, Edward A. Krause, David Kyman, Norman P. Kyman, Richard E. Levine, Ruth Newman Schlang Levine, Arthur Joseph Mandel, Sheldon S. Mann, Bessie E. Margolis, Nathan Markman, Ruth Rosenthal Marcus, Albert Mendelson, Mildred G. Mester, Gertrude Gottfried Milner, Lambert G. Oppenheim, Edward I. Polster, Jacob Rosenfield, Bennett Rosenthal, Rana Rosenthal, Ira Sachs, George L. Samuel, Adele Schaefer, Dr. H. Charles Schock, Milton P. Schulman, David Seidman, Anna Selman, Esther Serensky, Dr. Stuart B. Sheldon, Samuel S. Strauss, Eileen Weil, Marshall J. Ween, Alice Weiss, Gus Whitman. If anyone would like to make mention of a loved one or a friend whose name has not just now been read, please take this opportunity to do so. It has become our custom in recent months to mention at this point 5 members of the IDF who have lost their lives in the service of their country. On this occasion, we remember Lieutenant Yuval Yaffe, Lieutenant Yochai Dukhan, Lieutenant Sahar Tal, Chief Warrant Officer Uri Moyle, Warrant Officer Yechezkel Azaria. Zichronam livracha. May their memories ever be our blessing. At this point, I want to invite those who are observing the Shiva period, the first 7 days after the death of a loved one, if you wish to please rise. Those who are observing the Shloshim period, the first 30 days after the death of a loved one, please rise. Those who are observing the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one, please rise. And now as a caring congregation, let us all rise as together we sanctify the name of our God with the words of the Kaddish found in our prayer books on page 294 as we say together, Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon of Yomechon of B'chayedechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Vizman Kari V'yamru Amen, Yehei Shemei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalau shmei dekudashah barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us, and let us say together.
Amen.
You may be seated. As many of you know, we follow the Kaddish, a series of thoughts and prayers for our beloved deceased, whose lives, though now gone from our view, continue to animate our every hour and every day. And we move from that sacred set of moments to celebration, the Shechianu moments, where we celebrate those wonderful things that are happening in our lives and the lives of our families. And on this occasion, I'm pleased to express a mazel tov to Lynn and Ted Rudolph, who are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary today. Spontaneous. Anybody else want to tell us something about what is going on in their lives of special blessing sort?
Our friend Blaze, what's going on, Blaze?
Okay, Blaze.
Last week I wasn't here because I was in Warner Brothers Stage Captors production of Fame.
Go ahead.
And I was fantastic as Miss Myers, the acting teacher.
Mazel tov,
Very
Blaze.
good. Several people have told me over the past several weeks that they also like moments of silence where each of us can focus on either a variety of blessings that have befallen us or something special that has happened in the last day or so. So let's all pause and try to focus on one of our many blessings. And let's join in the singing of the Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Would you just come up here and join us for Motzi and Kiddush? I know Abe is a rising senior going to Yale who has done a lot of good work through the AJC. Come on up and help Rabbi and Blaze.
We read in the Psalms, the book of Psalms, that wine gladdens the human heart. Let's join in singing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari chagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'vratzon hinchilo anu zikaron lema'aseh bereishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת בשבת קודשך באחווה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
L'chaim. Whenever I stand next to somebody this tall, I find myself involuntarily standing up straight. I don't know exactly why. In a recent visit to the doctor, you get weighed and your height measured before you see the doctor. And I got on the scale and I got off and I said, "How tall am I?" And she said, "How tall do you want to be?" I said, 6'4". But she said, not really.
Okay.
Let's join in a blessing over our bounty.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. אמן. Amen.
Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. May the Lord give strength to God's people. May the Lord bless all of God's people with the blessings of shalom, of peace. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.